All right, here we are at 7305 Langfsord Court, and I'm going to scroll around. There's a huge truck in the driveway currently. There's another agent in there showing the property, so we might run into them in a bit. But for now, I will just pan around a little bit. There's a kind of a pipe stem there with some houses. This is on a cul-de-sac, which is nice. And you know, the houses here are well kept. This is a really nice neighborhood. So here's the front. So we'll walk around the yard. Here's the driveway here, so you can see one big truck fits. Single car garage. Looks like there's something built over the garage. Cute little retaining wall here. Brick front siding on the rest of it here. It looks pretty nice. We'll walk around the exterior. All right, so siding here looks pretty good. We got some big trees back here. It looks like the yard's on a pretty significant slope. Looks like this is a downspout drain that drains away from the house. So that is excellent. You can see here that it's dug into the ground and then it's directed here away from the foundation of the house. That's a good sign that the house has been maintained. So pretty steep drop off here. If you had little boys, they would love that, I'm sure. So this is kind of like a extra patio area. I'm not sure. We'll check that out from the inside maybe. You do have the one kind of tree. It's not really a stump. It's like a stump plus. I'm not sure decisions were made there. You could have that removed if you wanted to. That's the only thing that really stands out in the backyard. And then there's a interesting log situation here too. So, you know, I don't know. Just people do weird things. You know, the more houses I see, the more you just really can't control for weird things that people do. But here is the other side of the house. This does not go through there, so we will not be able to walk around that way. But we'll come back this way. I do see a little shed underneath that covered area there. So cool tree. The yards here look pretty well kept. Everything looks good so far. So we'll head back out here and then we'll head inside. Okay, so I have come in the house and there is someone else here, so you might hear some voices. Okay, so here is the front entryway closet here. So this is a split foyer, so you walk in and you kind of enter into a landing and you can either go down or you can go up. So this one has a closet, which is nice. A lot of split foyers don't have a closet right here on this level. This one does. This is a big closet too. So we'll go up first since there are people downstairs. And the first thing I noticed, now again, this is just a condition thing, not a criticism, is that there's no kind of threshold piece here. This is actually kind of a dangerous spot to not have the correct transition piece. So I would just be mindful of that. You might want to have that repaired so that you're not falling down the stairs. But it looks great. So you walk in and there's this large living room up here. This is a ginormous couch. So lamp back there. There is overhead lighting in this room, which is nice. And the wood accent wall is very cool. So TV, they have it placed there. You have these two windows here. There's a pretty good amount of light in here. It's not super bright. You know, you'd probably want to use the overhead lights. Beautiful dining area. Really cool light fixture. So this is great. This table has 6 chairs and there's plenty of room to circulate around here. You probably wouldn't want to go too much bigger on the table or you'd kind of run into a path of travel problem here. But this is fine. There's plenty of circulation here. We walk into the kitchen, which is very nice. This is my favorite kind of kitchen, so don't mind me, but these are newer cabinets. So they have the soft close drawer slides, and this is probably a Lazy Susan. Yep. Very nice. Lots of space in there for things. This is a quartz countertop. You have the undermount sink here. So sink overlooks this very bright and sunny part of the patio. Cabinets here. Let's see, there is lighting up here as well. So here, you have small appliance, coffee kind of station area. This would probably be your main work space in here. So the counter space is a little bit lower in this kitchen than some others. But you could use this as your main workspace would be my guess. Yeah, I can see like the rice cooker and stuff over here. So small appliances, drawers, all that good stuff. cabinets here. These are not the super tall cabinets, but there is plenty of storage in there. This appears to be a full-size refrigerator, which is always good. Sometimes they're not. So here we have a little breakfast nook situation. They have, yeah, kind of like a little bench there, some chairs. This does not have an overhang because, you know, you have to be able to get to the door. So door walks out to a beautiful raised deck here. And so if you can, it's really bright, so some things aren't going to show up quite as well in the video, but this is a really big deck. It feels pretty sturdy. It has been painted. Sorry, there's a bee flying around my head. So you can go down the stairs here to the kind of paver area. I don't have my shoes on, so we won't do that right now. But you have this beautiful view of the tree and kind of like your neighbor's roofs. So there is a little bit more privacy here than there was down on the lower level. You're not so close to the neighbors. Plenty of space for entertaining out here. Large table, grill, chairs, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so again, that's off the eat-in kitchen area. So then from here, we have a little pantry. Very cute. You didn't have room for like a broom. That's thoughtful. So cute little pantry there. All right, so we're on this main level, so we're gonna walk through here. And here's the hallway bathroom. Looks brand new, so or pretty close. Lovely tile. Floor is kind of it's a gray, but it's got brown in it. It matches really well, it looks good. This is kind of a classic tile that won't be really dated in a couple years. Beautiful mirror. Standard vanity. This is the same cabinet that's in the kitchen, quartz countertop. Very nice. So, linen closet. You can see how many linens fit in the closet. So that's great. And then here is the primary room, I would guess. So, they have some built-ins kind of in here, some shelves and stuff, which is nice. They have a TV, floating shelf there. You have these two windows. It's the bedroom, and you're going to hear lots of people here, even though they're not supposed to be here, but it's okay. This is a walk-in closet here, which is nice. So you got lots of room. And here, that's kind of rare in a house this age, so great feature. And then here is the primary bathroom, which is lovely. So you do have a double vanity, quartz counters. These are the same cabinets. This is not the same floor that was in the other bathroom. This is a whiter, lighter floor. I don't know if there's some shadowing, if there's like a little bit of staining here. There's a little bit of yellowing in the, it might just be that light, honestly. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's just the light casting a weird stripe on the floor that's yellow. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but, so same tile in the shower here. This is the floor version of the tile that's not as slippery. This is the slippery version of the tile that you wouldn't put on the floor. It does have a nice sheen to it. So, yeah, very nice. Full-size mirror, if you so desire. So again, this was the primary. And then here's this bedroom here. So beautiful built-in cabinets here, painted the same color as the wall with these sconces, which is very nice. There is a closet in here. So this, you know, I think this could be a bedroom. It would be a little tight if you had a big bed or you'd have to remove those cabinets. But it is nice. And then this is I think it's an LVP here. It might be a laminate. It looks kind of shiny, so I think it's a vinyl. Here's another bedroom up here. They have staged as, you know, like a bunkhouse situation. So two pretty windows there. Let's go check at the windows. These look like they might be the original windows. Yes, probably. They are wood windows. They do have storm windows on them. They are in pretty good shape. You know, wood windows are going to be a little older, but if you take care of them, they can last a really long time. Longer than vinyl windows, that's for sure. You do have a bit of a walk-in closet in here, which is really nice to have not one, but two in the house. So, and the floor does continue into the closet. So that's nice. All right, so we're going to head. So these are the 3 bedrooms upstairs. And then there's the 2 full baths, the primary bath and then the hallway bath. All right. And we're going to head down to the basement, and I'll probably pause for a second. All right, I'm going to resume, but you're going to hear people in the background. So we'll just, all right, so we walked down the stairs. We came down, you know, here's the entryway. We come down the stairs. You have a little niche here. And then closet here. That's pretty deep. That's probably 4 feet deep. So they have, you know, big suitcases pushed in there. This is the same floor that was upstairs in the rooms. It is a vinyl. It's in pretty good shape. Yeah, I would say it's in pretty good shape. So I don't see any obvious, like anything crazy. So this is kind of a lower rec room area, family room. They have a lot of IKEA cabinets in here. I don't know if these convey or not. They're not attached to the wall, so my guess would be no. But you can get a feel for how big the space is. And then they have the desk set up down there, which is really cute. And these 4 windows are beautiful, bring in a lot of light. This over here is a painted paneling, and then the brick has been painted. That looks to be a gas fireplace. You can see the key there and an insert. So, and then here we'll head. Okay, so we will head over here. They're going upstairs. Here is a full bathroom down here, which is really nice. This is a really cool mirror, actually. Quartz counters, same kitchen cabinets. So, or same cabinets as in the kitchen. They're not, you know, so it looks nice. It flows really well. Beautifully tiled shower. Have a little niche there that has the kind of pebble. And I can see that the drain is lower than the rest of the floor. So that's good that it was tiled properly. Door is very cool. So this is kind of, you know, that living room, and then this right here. And then over here is another bedroom. Okay, this one has 2 light switches, so that's kind of a neat trick. And that's that shed out back. So that doesn't, no light comes into this room if you were to keep that shed there. This is also very small. This would be a great office or a craft room, or, you know, something that's not really a bedroom. It is a little small for a bedroom. Here's a closet here, but I mean, it would be fun. So yeah, shed out there, and then we'll take a look at the back patio in a second. I'm not sure what this light switch is for. It might control something that was added later, maybe that switch in the closet. I don't know, actually. Yeah, I don't know about the switches. I've never seen that before. Doesn't mean it's bad. I couldn't tell you what it's for. So here's another bedroom down here with the window, and there is some paneling that's been painted in a warm white, I would say. Closet here. The floor is pretty gray, so, you know, it was probably done a handful of years ago when everybody was putting in gray flooring. It does have some brown, but it is gray. So, all right. So here's the living room, and then there was the full bath. There's the 2 bedrooms there, and then we're going to head over to the other side. Here was the closet with the suitcases in it, and then let's see what's over here. So back here is the utility space, it looks like. Okay, so they have some photography equipment, so that's cool. Lots of, you know, this shelving won't stay, but you can kind of get a feel for how much space you have in here for some additional storage. They have some cool cushions, and then stacked washer and dryer. Currently, shelves there. There's the dryer vent. I don't know, the shower curtain is kind of a new thing, so that's pretty funny. So yeah, there is some storage, you know, potential back here. Here is the access to that patio that we looked at. So there's that big shed, and that probably stays. I don't really see how you'd be getting that out very easily. But here, so I think they use this for storage, probably not for hanging out. But, you know, just to get a feel for the space there. And then, so this was the utility room. This has a concrete floor. It's been painted. It's in pretty good shape. I don't smell anything gross like mildew or anything. This basement does not smell wet. So, and then out here, this is the garage that does feel like it's probably insulated in some way. It's not super cold out here. So they use it as a workout space, clearly. Single car here. So again, no like suburban F-150. Typically, they're not going to fit in the single car garage from this era. I wouldn't guarantee that. But if you have a really large vehicle, that's just something to keep in mind. You know, have Sean measure for you twice. So they're using it as a workout space. Really cool. They must not have any stuff to store. Since this is where, you know, this is the biggest storage area in the house. So if you had stuff to store, you would need it for that. But great place. Yeah. So then there's that coat closet kind of, and then we would come up here, and here we are. All right. So One last look at this one here. Cute area. There are lots of kids out playing. There's no school today, so there are a lot of kids playing in the neighborhood. So if that appeals to you, then this would be a good one.